Events can be some of the most fun, exciting, and stressful ways to raise funds for your charity. They come in all shapes and sizes. If you're thinking of holding an event, it might be sporting, cultural, musical, religious, or aligned with a commercial project. There are gala dinners, cocktail parties, fun runs, marathons, challenge events, dragon boat races, live music parties, Christmas carol concerts, and product launch parties. You could hold it in a private venue or a public place, and the themes to these events are limited only to your imagination. With so much to choose from, it can be hard to know where to start. Quite often, a colleague or a volunteer will have an idea for an event to raise money, and before you know it, you're putting on a theatre production or cookery demonstration. But it's important that you take a step to think before you invest any time or effort into delivering your event. Stop and ask yourself, why do we really want an event? The obvious answer to this is often to raise money. But if you think back to your organisational objectives, and in particular the fundraising objectives that you've set, you might also find that your objectives are to increase awareness of your brand, identify new donors, educate people about your message, network with high net worth individuals to build a stronger trustee board perhaps, or just to re-energise your volunteers or say thank you to some people. So when you start to think about all of the different benefits from events, you start to realise that they can help to solve problems across all marketing and fundraising functions. For example, when an opportunity doesn't exist for major donor fundraisers to be engaged with the charity, or there's no easy way of improving the image of the charity with the local community. To get your events to work well, you need to be clear on exactly what you're trying to achieve. This can be pulled together in a SMART objective. So the objective for your event might be to raise £1,000, identify 20 new individual donors who can give more than £10 a month, and recruit 20 new volunteer fundraisers from an event by the end of June 2013. The challenge now is to explore what event can help you achieve these objectives. This is the moment to pull together a creative group to help you brainstorm all of the event possibilities to help you reach your targets. It might be an existing event you already run, or a third-party event such as the London Marathon that you piggyback, or something entirely new. Can you see how this approach helps you to run an event that's more likely to deliver your targets than first having an idea for an event and hoping you can mould it to your needs? It's not easy to stop doing something that's a loved favourite, so you do need to do your homework to show that the costs and benefits aren't working out. Come up with an alternative as well that you feel will start to work for your charity. Take a look at our handout to help you carry out this evaluation. As you start to prepare and plan your event, you want to be exploring all of the costs involved. For this, you need to pull together a budget. These don't have to be complicated, but it's good practice to get 3 quotes for each budget line. Have a think about all of the ways you're going to raise your funds as well, and any additional costs that these may incur. Make sure you calculate your break-even point and get your budget signed off, and have a think about your timescales. Committees made up of volunteers, particularly with big projects, can also be a great way to resource your events. Encourage them also to review events that they repeat each year to make sure they're still delivering all the objectives you set. One of the most useful tools for preparing an event is a Gantt chart. It looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Basically, you list everything you need to do, grouping them together into categories, and then add in your time frame across the top. It helps you to see activities in relation to each other, not just in a list. So, for example, it's impossible to send out invitations before they've been printed, and you need to allow enough time for them to be designed and signed off. You can see who's been assigned the different tasks and keep on track of every element to make sure that you hit deadlines and that the event runs smoothly. The other key thing to think about is a risk assessment. We know it sounds like something from a policy book that no one will ever read, but in terms of your event, it's vital in helping you prepare for the unexpected. A risk register will make you think about all of the events that could jeopardise your project. Whether it's bad weather, public transport problems, power failures, or a lack of safety equipment. With a risk register, you'll have considered exactly how you'll handle the situation. And if it's serious, then you need to think of a backup plan. Wet weather insurance, standby bus companies to transport guests, a backup generator, alternative venues, and extra safety equipment might all find their way onto your list. Delivery on the day comes down to your great forward planning. Make sure all of your volunteers and colleagues know exactly what they're supposed to be doing and when, and that you stay free to float around and problem solve. When the day is over, the work doesn't stop. Make sure you've done all of your thank yous and measured your success according to your objectives that you set right at the beginning. This is the evaluation phase, and it's vital you take the time to review how well the event went. Plan ahead for this. You can create feedback forms covering each stage of the event for everyone involved to complete immediately afterwards. Be thick-skinned about it, and your future events will really flourish from all you learn. There are a lot of things to consider as you start to plan your events. To help you along your way, there are great guidelines on all of the things you need to think about in the IOF Codes of Fundraising Practice. Why not print them off now to take a look at all the things you already do and all of the things you need to consider before you start your next event?